Jiao Shu was asked by one of his senior students, Buddha teaches that all beings have Buddha nature. Does a dog have Buddha nature? Jiao Shu says, "Mu," which means not so. This famous koan is practiced by many people over a period of time when the teacher gives a student this koan. The question is, who was right? Buddha, Jiao Shu? How do you answer? Stop. You can't think your way into this one. Why is that important? Because what do we do all the time? We think we are this thought. And we frame everything according to this system we have created. But Zen is going beyond thought to the actuality, still point. Scary, I know. Just like the monk who's hanging from a tree by his teeth. And he's asked, whatever the question is, what is Buddha? He's compelled to answer, but if he answers, he falls and breaks his neck and dies. How do you answer? Again, stop. When we say just this, when we say don't know, when we say beginner's mind, these aren't concepts I'm throwing at you. No way. This really is life and death. This moment right now. There's no argument. There's no right and wrong about it. Not question, is he right, is he wrong? You just stop. And what's there? Then what's there? You're still there. You know, the gateless gate of your own mind. What's the barrier? What's the barrier to wisdom, to understanding? On Sunday, I talked about how when I first went to practice Zen, it was a playground for me. I was checking it out. It wasn't a matter of life and death. But eventually it became that. Because the more and more I got to understand this thinking, these emotions, this karma, this life, the more I realized I need to break through. I need to get to the root of what is this. That's why we're here. This is why this is a practice center. Go to a restaurant, have lunch, socialize. It's wonderful. I have no judgments. Even us, we get here, come here at first, we sit and we talk some, or afterwards we chat, or we have these wonderful conversations during our Dharma talks. It's all good. As long as stay centered. What is this? You know, I don't know about you, but I spend a fair amount of time avoiding things. And there's no avoiding them, actually. There's so many wonderful ways to say this, it comes back and bites you in the ass. And I think the purpose of that teacher in the Dharma room, when you go in and you give him the answer to the koan, that purpose is to bite you in the ass. But that's a wonderful gift. That's loving compassion. That's not mean. That's just a concept that you have going in there because of your own experience of what is mean, what is kind, what is beautiful, what is ugly. The whole world is on fire. How do you keep from being burned? Another one. How do you answer? Stop. So what am I getting at? Don't know. This is Zen. This is what it is. I mean, it's also, chanting, how can I help, and being compassionate, loving. It's all there. But it's also discovering, what is this? Why am I here? What am I doing here? Why do I come here? Why do I sit? Why do I do this? It's entertaining sometimes, sure. It's very entertaining to me most of the time. Don't confuse expedient means like koans with the reality. It's just pointing at something. It's not the answer in itself. There's no answer there. The way you solve this puzzle is by awakening to your Buddha nature, which is the same for all of us. We all have it. I imagine, more than I know, that an awakened heart-mind is just an ordinary mind. We were talking about India, how India is all there. It makes so much sense when you've been to India and you've seen what that's like, that it's the birth of enlightenment. It makes so much sense. Because what is it in our lives? The suffering, the hardship, old age, sickness, death, all of it, that Buddha brought to the forefront and showed us. It's everywhere. And it's not about time. Buddha's teachings are timeless because they go beyond time. They're not dealing with, modern life. They're dealing with life. What we consider our lives is no different, really, from the time of Buddha. Once Buddha had enlightenment, and this opportunity for all of us became more available. To be enlightened, to wake up, to really do something that's beyond our little limited idea of self, by just being ourselves, just being who we are, just being your natural self. But we're not, as long as we're projecting, thinking, this is the way it is. And we have very strong opinions. There isn't a person in this room that doesn't have a strong opinion. And lots of times they'll take me to task about it too. That's okay. I appreciate that. It's good. That's what Sangha's for, to reflect to each other. But it's not much different than being in the interview room with the Zen master and a koan. Because what we throw at each other is really like koans. They're just grist for the mill. They're just what gets us to wake up to a deeper understanding. Because what are we putting out there, actually? Our view, our idea of what it is, how it is. So what gets reflected back? Our view, how it is, how we see things. You know, all these analogies, all these different metaphors for enlightenment, you know, the mirror. It's just a mirror, you know, reflecting. You know, mind clear like space, you know. I mean, over the last 8 years or so I've been doing this, I've said it all. So, and the quality of the students who stick it out here is gone through the roof. I mean, you guys are wonderful. Believe me, I feel it, I sense it, I see it. It's wonderful to be in your presence, and I'm so grateful that you guys show up here and sit with me. It's wonderful. But I just had to get all that off my chest. It's natural. Who was it? Ram Dass's guru laid there in the blanket, you know, and he tossed all this acid at him to see what, you know, where he would go in his mind. Time goes by, and Ram Dass is there. Oh man, he must be really tripping out. Whoa, you know, he must be really getting high. Finally, the guy scratches his nose or something and goes, "So, what's supposed to happen?" That is a koan. Ram Dass, that share, like that was a mind-blowing experience for him. That there was something beyond phenomena, the way we create it. And I think in that situation, it was just great love. I mean, I think that being was just emanating great love, compassion, universally. Not, you know, I'm sure he was probably an awakened being, and he was just being natural, just the way he was. He farted, he shit, he ate, like the rest of us. But he had a mind that was not disturbed. Nothing disturbed it. So then he could give clearly, openly, without hesitation, and not expecting anything in return. The way of the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, again, doesn't abide in the idea of a self, a body, a being, a soul. But in one drop of water is all water. You don't have to be swimming in the whole ocean to know it's water. So just our ordinary lives the way they are. It's already water. It's already wetness. That's what I get out of it.
It's interesting to see when when such a kind of effort is made over time, and you become, you're becoming clearer and taking things away, and the vision gets a little bit better. Uh, the looking back, or the remembering, or the, inevitably we have to compare and rate our experience in some way, or we will. Maybe eventually we won't, but we compare and rate. So let's say I'm very surprised at this point in life that this degree of calm and peace and momentary joys and insights come about, in contrast to I don't know how to put that to words, but or in smart words, let's just say a very dysfunctional life, with background and personality challenges and relational challenges and addictions and huge mistakes, little mistakes, messes, chaos, self-hatred, like the whole ball of wax. And really, like, I really appreciate the highlighting of stopping, because there really isn't any going forward with it. If you do get to a certain point, that stop point is the part where you really realize that yes, it is life and death. Until that stop happens, this is life.
Yes.
Anyway, I relate strongly to that, and I appreciate it. And, it's the amount of gratitude I have over being able to have a perspective like that is immense.
Yeah.
And if I remember that, then I sometimes can't really contain it very well. It's just like, wow, I can't even.
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't even put that together. I didn't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, what you were trying to describe, which you did a good job of, I think is one of the terms that defines that is samsara, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Skandhas. Exactly. Thank you. That was great to hear. Thank you. I liked what you said, Nick, about the bubbling up of joy and how sometimes you can't even contain it.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get attached to that, but yet it's such an indication of what it can be like. So a sense of humor helps too, So, when these things kind of show up in your life and you look at them and, if you can keep a sense of humor, then it's not such a sting. It's more of an open-handed view than clinging, rather than an opposition. Anyway, wow, that was interesting.
So when I was a kid, we had a hamster that would escape his cage. And we tried new cages, new locks on the cage. That guy would always find a way to get out. And sometimes we'd find him in my sister's bed for some reason. Sometimes he would build a nest somewhere and under a kitchen cabinet or something. We'd find him, but he was amazing. He wouldn't settle for the cage and the wheel.
Cool.
Yeah.
Little Buddha.
Yeah. He was an albino. He was all white. There was something inspiring about it. Even as children, we were all so impressed with what he could do.
Hmm.